Tell me, Ramki, why I need growth?
See, the way I look at it is professionals go through various life cycles, and I normally put it under 4 quadrants. It goes with learning phase, and then growth phase, and then maturing phase, and contributing phase. I felt that as a professional, no one has arrived in life. They continue to arrive always. So the life is always present continuous. And what describes present continuous is ing. So I felt that a person who wants growth all through his life, he will never say, his languaging will be ing. So he is learning, he is growing, he is maturing, he is contributing. So the common thread is that ing, and I bring a acronym to any of the letters that they use. So I felt I need growth will be very apt for a professional who wants growth. That's how the title came as ing, I need growth. See, in the last 22 years of my professional life, more than the work experience that I picked up, one thing which has transformed me is my writing. I have been writing regularly for the last 3 or 4 years. I felt that only way to pass on this knowledge to the next generation could be only through writing. So that's why I wrote my first book called You Can Become a Complete Manager. That was written more on the context that the mistake that I have done. In fact, the title I wanted to keep for that book was I Made a Mistake, You Don't Have to. So that whole book, my first book, was revolving around me. But when I was writing this book, I realized that to make the professional to mirror themselves, I must write it in their language. So I choose to write this as a novel. So with various work experiences, be it their professional life or their personal life, what has happened to me, if I could translate to them in a more easier way, I felt that's the only way I can leave a legacy, I can leave my footprint in this world, much after I leave this world also. So that has been the thought process behind writing a book. Since I've been a regular writer to one of the growth magazines in Chennai, and all these experiences, I thought it should not be a one-off experience. If I could put it together in the form of a book, and if that book could convey, it can travel the life cycle of a professional, even if 20 years, 2 decades of work experience. And I thought of writing it as a womb to tomb of professional life, but that I was taking it too far. I wanted to put the entire their life cycle, which starts with the learning phase, the growing phase, and the maturing phase, and contributing phase. I thought writing it was a great revelation to myself, and I felt cleansed at the process, because everything that I have written here is purely my personal experiences with my team, with my boss, my wife, my children, everything I have written here. And learning, when it is transformed to the next generation, the first person who gets cleansed and transformed is myself. So, and I feel responsible to what I write, and I have become accountable to what I write, and all the more I am responsible to my own writing. So it has transformed me more than anybody else I can tell. So I am not a professional author. I came to writing by accident only, and I believe unintended consequences have far-reaching impacts. In my life, writing has transformed me as a professional, as a human being. But writing is very challenging, and but if the experiences are so profound, the writing will appear. And yes, it was not grammatically right. I had the people who helped me in fine-tuning those pieces. But the thought process, the feelings, I could communicate. And I normally test it with a few people once I write a particular chapter. And if that can make sense to the said professional, I'm sure it can make an impact to many people. So that's how I started writing. So my tip would be to be true to yourself, communicate your feelings as much as possible in the writing, and be very honest with your author. In fact, somebody asked me, how do you define yourself? You are an associate chartered accountant. And very spontaneously I said, I'm an ACA, associate chartered accountant, but I call myself as a person whose understanding of life is accepting, changing and aligning. So that has been the fulcrum on which the anchoring on these three principles. Because I felt that, in fact, my first book, I completed the first book with the caption, Forget Past, Think Present and Dream Future. It happened in 2003. But in the last 8 years as I was evolving, it's not about forgetting the past. It's about accepting the past. It's not about thinking in the present. It's about changing in the present. It's not about dreaming about the future. It's about aligning to the future. So to me, the core concept is you don't need to change the world. You change yourself and you'll be able to connect to everything. Either you connect to people, connect to the environment. So it's all about within you. Inside out is easier. So that's what it means when you are accepting the person and changing the perception about that person, you'll be able to align to the personality. So that applies in your professional life, applies in your personal life, be it with your relationship with your boss, subordinate, peers, or wife, or children. If these fundamentals are understood, and a man who evolves, grows in his professional life through these 4 cycles of learning, growing, maturing, and contributing, and it runs parallel to the personal life also. So everywhere I have tried to use this 4 quadrant, wherein people will be able to understand which quadrant are they currently going through, and they'll be able to align themselves to the basic facts of life, and that will be the key takeaway from this book. So the way I've written the book is everything is in the form of a 4 quadrant, so that people are able to understand which quadrant do they belong to. For example, people can be segregated into 4 types. A guy with a high energy and high intelligence. So if I segment it under 4, so first quadrant represents the high energy but low on intelligence. So for these people you have to give them exposure. So you expose them. Then high energy and high intelligence. This set of people you have to continuously expand them. And there are certain people who are high intelligent but low on energy. Probably they are indifferent at work. So you have to excite them, give them new roles. And there are people who are low energy and low intelligence. You have to engage them. So as a boss, if you are able to understand his team, where are they falling into, he will be able to align themselves. Similarly, if you look at the kind of bosses that you have to connect to, different types of bosses are there. So ineffective boss, there are 4 quadrants again. I coined it under 4 quadrants. So ineffective boss becomes a follower. He can never lead. He may be a boss, but he will always be a follower. An effective boss will become a manager. He will do what is required to be done. An encouraging boss will be a good boss. A good encouraging leader will become an encouraging boss. And a boss who can create leaders will become an empowering boss. So if you are a leader, you can choose which quadrant do you belong to, and if you are a second line to which boss you are working, you will be able to align to him. So, and if I can adapt this in our personal life also, our married life also goes through the same cycle. When you get married, you are excited, but you are not aligned to your spouse. The next phase is the exciting phase. Excitement is there, you are also aligned. It's fantastic. Third phase is a very dicey phase. You may be aligned, but you are not excited at all. You don't look forward to that married life. Fourth is a very dangerous, not excitement and no alignment. So we have solutions for everything. What every professional should go through from 28 years to 50 years is explained that with simple examples coming from my own life experiences. When the readers are able to read and they can correlate with their personal life and professional life, they have takeaways, simple things which they can implement next day. They can close the book and go and then implement that. And I've just given a suggestion that before you leave your home, give a warm hug to your wife and go. And when you come back, give a warm hug and then come back. I think it's a very simple act, but it has a huge impact the way they relate with each other. So like these small things are there at work also. Don't have a review meeting without holding your hands of the entire team. Start the meeting with that. Because I feel when they are feeling together, they will start thinking together. When they are thinking together, they will start acting together. When they start acting together, they will grow together. So feeling together removes the indifferences. Thinking together removes the differences. And acting together, they are bound to grow. So I feel implementing this in my own personal and professional life has given me huge happiness and also success. So a good professional is one who is happy and he will continue to strive for more success. Writing my first book was a very different experience. I felt very good. In fact, That was the time I was not well. I was bedridden for 3 months. I had a spinal cord infection. But I took it upon myself to do something larger than the pain that I was going through. So I immediately dwelled myself into the book, and in 3 to 6 months I could finish the whole book. And when the book was launched, I felt very good, and that was on September 2003. I felt very, very, very happy. And though everything was done by myself, I didn't go through a proper, publisher or something. But that way, it was a very big moment in my life. And as far as professional life is concerned, running an organization and building it from a scratch to today about 1,000 crore business that I am building in the current business. I think it's when I look back, definitely I feel that I have always been a creator, be it a new system or recreating an existing system. So that way, these two moments are very profound moments of my life. I very much like this ICICI's statement, retire from work, no retire from life. So I want to fuse my passion with my profession. My passion is to teach, passion is to lift the professionals, professionals from the functional knowledge to practical wisdom. So this is just a simple attempt. This book writing itself is a simple attempt to give them this simple understanding of life, how to make it life very easy. So my passion is to teach, be it at work or as a person also. So I will retire only on the last day of my life.